Ahead of the first leg of the Arena Games Triathlon World Championships in Munich on April 9th, we catch up with a man who is no stranger to the stresses and strains of that intense indoor format. A gold medal winner last year in Rotterdam and London, we keep it Van Riel for the next 60 minutes on everything from dodging motos during his 70.3 Dubai win to switching from the Joel Filiol training supergroup into his new setup in Girona, being in a rock band as a kid and finding time in this year's calendar for a heavy metal festival with his fellow Belgian Hammers. This one's a goodie. Hope you enjoy it. Our very special guest for episode 59 of the World Triathlon Podcast is Belgian Hammer Marten Van Riel. The 29-year-old wrapped up a brilliant season last year with overall second place in the Maurice Lacroix Series rankings, thanks to a gutsy silver at the Edmonton Championship Finals, to go with individual fourth place and mixed relay fifth at the Tokyo Olympic Games. So Martin, welcome. How are you and where are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm coming from Girona, Spain now, where I'm usually based most of the year. I moved, from Belgium because of the weather and some other circumstances. So yeah, we're training well here and feeling ready to start the season soon.
Your 2022 has got off to a good start. Dubai 70.3 victory there felt pretty special, I should imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like I have a passion for everything that's triathlon involved, but for sure also like I really like the long distance, and it's a path that in the future I would like to discover more as well. So I thought I wasn't that well prepared yet for it, to be honest. But the preparation with my new coach, because I changed coaches this winter, almost went perfectly to plan, and like all the pieces of the puzzle just started coming together in the weeks before the race. And on race day I could finish the puzzle, and that was pretty incredible to have that result. And I think timing wise it was almost perfect as well, though, because it fits perfectly in our training block when like at the end of our mainly an endurance and base build block, and now it's more like the specific stuff towards the short distance. Mm-hmm. But I think that combination really made it a really amazing result and very motivating for the rest of the season.
Managed to swerve that motorbike that was just obviously a couple of chaps just in front of you around that final turn. It's an amazing shot. It's sort of super up close and personal. You're kind of at a 45-degree angle, your entire body anyway, and then that's the motorbike.
Yeah, that was not easy. Yeah? The cameraman made it a bit more difficult for me, but on the other hand, I was quite lucky to have him before that, because they didn't, like the run course, they didn't put cones in the middle. So like by the time I was finishing up, like there was a lot of age groupers on the course, but like people were just running like right and left side of the road. So started feeling like a rugby game where I had to like put my arm forward almost to make sure I didn't bounce into anyone. So it was quite good to have the motorbike until that last corner where
right, a bit of protection, using it as a battering ram through and so your new coach then, who are you with now, and is that a view to tagging on some more kind of long distance specific stuff and starting to build that up already, or is that going to remain a kind of occasional as it fits in, and then that's a more long-term vision?
For sure, the long distance stuff, it's with a vision for after Paris 2024. That's when I probably want to do my transformation. I think in 2028, I'm not necessarily too old, I think, but I'm probably not gonna be on the best shape ever for short distance anymore, because I'll be 35. So I think Paris for sure, I want to go for it. I'm 31. I have a sixth and a fourth, so I feel like that's not a way that I can leave. That I can leave short distance. So no, but the coaches change. It was more because I was now 7 years with Joel Filiol and his group. And I think just at the end of the Olympic cycle, it's always a period for change. And I think it was just a time for me to change because, yeah, like I say, most likely this is my last cycle on the short distance. And if I never try something else, I think I will regret that. And yeah, having a new impulse, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, even though with Joel as well, the last years I was still growing step by step every year. So yeah, I think looking for a couple of new steps now in on different terrains, but for sure mainly short distance focused.
And those first few sessions over the winter with the new coach, sorry, what's his name?
It's Glenn Polonis. So it's actually a Belgian coach. He coaches quite some Belgian under 23 athletes, a couple of elites as well. Well, we're still looking. There's always applications are always welcome for Glenn, because he's actually based in Girona now as well. And yeah, we're trying to form a little bit a high performance group as well.
Well, you heard it here first. Anybody
yeah,
out there wanting to sign in, just pop Martin or Glenn a message out.
Yeah, Glenn, not
Sorry,
not me.
Don't need more admin. No more admin.
I don't have anything to say in this group. I just do as is told to me.
But does that, yeah, did you feel, so it was 7 years with Joel, did you feel kind of immediately in those first few sessions with Glenn that, well, yeah, just did it feel like it was underlining the fact that you'd made the right decision, and it's still you, it's still a pool, it's still a bike, but yeah, I mean, these things always need a bit of a refresh, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for sure it's been challenging. Like there's quite a lot of different things, and yeah, after 7 years, you kind of get stuck in routines. And just the things you're used to. So it was definitely out of the comfort zone this winter. But on the other hand, I did have like very good talks with Glenn before we started, and I also told him like some stuff that I don't want to change, some stuff that I want to change. So I think we found like quite a good balance, and especially now, I think we took some elements that I was already doing, and only now we're gonna add a little bit more and more and more of other stuff, like more gym, more really fast run training and stuff like that. We're only slowly adding that up. I think it's just after 7 years, you can't just completely break with a way of working and do it completely different from one day to another. So that takes a bit of time, but for sure, I was very happy to be able to do Dubai, because I was a little bit insecure on the other hand as well of where I was standing, because yeah, before I was always training with a lot of the best guys in the world, and basically I could see in every training session where standard I was
is at.
Yeah, and now that's a bit different. I knew that I was doing very well on training, but yeah, obviously it's the race that you have to perform in. So it was very nice to be able to confirm that.
So when you say like taken out of your comfort zone, is there what are the main changes? Would you put your finger on?
I think it's working, like we're working a little bit more on like small details, like gym work and stretching as well, which that's for sure out of my comfort zone. Like I barely have done any of that in the last 7 years, and now I'm doing that. So also on the run, for instance, we're doing a lot of like very fast stuff to try and really raise my top speed, basically. That's also challenging, I would say. Yeah, but basically I really noticed now that after so many years of working in a very similar way, basically any other trainings than that do get kind of difficult. And that's why I also think that sometimes it can be good to have a change after multiple years.
I guess it can also, can it be, if it is a considerably smaller group, like just more personally tailored. He can,
Yeah, I think that's for sure. That's one of the specific things about Joel and his group and the success he's had is also that the group, like the culture that he builds inside his group, and that's something that, yeah, like I learned really a lot of both Joel, but also of the other athletes in the group. But like you say, I think now having all that wisdom as well, I think it can be good for me to work a little bit more individualized and a little bit more, tailored to what I think I personally need. And that's for sure what we're trying to do and accomplish.
So out of Dubai, coming out like that, must have been a good high five. By your own admission, perhaps you weren't necessarily the favorite on that start list, would you say? And so to have that just sort of underlining that new kind of regime is doing as you would want it, it doesn't get much better as a rubber stamp than that.
No, it's true, and I actually think I don't know if Glenn if Glenn's gonna like to hear that, but I think he was actually more nervous than me before this race, because for him as well, it's
proof
like,
of the pudding, huh?
Yeah, I mean, now a lot of eyes were also on him as a coach, obviously, for this race, like the first race with my after my change, with working with him. So I could feel that he was also very nervous before the race, but like I say, I think we did really good work before, and I actually kind of knew where I was, and we could predict very well what I was going to be able to do in the race, like watts wise and pace wise on the run. And I obviously, you never know what the opponents can do, and there were some super strong names like Bakagar, third at 70.3 worlds, and then obviously Christian Blumenfeld, the arch nemesis of every short distance racer, the final boss of short distance racing. So no, it was really amazing, and I think it really showed that that we're on the right track, with what we're doing.
So I mean, Edmonton last year, it was the championship finals. You'd had a great season up to that point, and that last 2K did look like some of the toughest that there was, and obviously Christian flying, Leo Berger and Adrian Brifford as well. Where did that sort of stack up, and how is it? Those the psychological moments in that stage of a race where you've got Blummy kind of moving into what would, I guess, be his preferred position, where he can sort of deliver those little surges and test people and make people kind of drop back. And how did that stack up?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think for me personally, that's the best race I've ever done in my career, especially with how I handled the bike as well, which I felt super strong there throughout. And I really went for it. Like, I knew that I needed to win and have a couple of people in between me and Christian if I wanted to take the world title still. And I think nobody really, before that race, nobody really saw that as a possibility. But I really went for it. And unfortunately, the chase group pretty much was on our tail into transition 2. So like we had like 25 seconds most of the bike ride. And then, they caught back to us on the last moment, which fair play to Christian, because I think I know that he did a lot of work in the chase back. So probably we were very equal on like the riding effort. But like in the run, then I think again I felt like we were very equal, and I was maybe a little bit too confident in my finishing ability. And I think mainly what I should not have done is let Leo go in between us, because there's like 2 corners in the final sprint. There's 2 corners, and Leo kind of went into like second position behind Blumenfeld, and I was in third. And I could feel that Leo was already on his limit. So that was probably the one mistake I made that race. But yeah, other than that, I think it was almost my perfect race, and I tried everything I could. And yeah.
Was that down to Leo just being on the right side on that corner, so that, you know, it's kind of squeezed you out? You had the slightly longer route round, and then he just nudged ahead. And if, you know, had you thought on the previous laps, do you have that, right, this is going to be my line, if it's coming down to it, this is the sort of line I want to take? Or, I mean, there's obviously other guys always in the mix that are going to dictate that as well.
Yeah. I think that's it. I kind of knew that I should not let anyone, I wanted to sit on Christian there, but I kind of knew that I couldn't let Leo come in between us. But that's it. Like, in Leo's mind, he was also thinking like, okay, I have to be in between Marten and Christian, or even in front of Christian. I don't know, but you know, like, yeah, these athletes are world class. So like, it's not that if you want to do a certain thing,
No.
you can't change what the others want to do. And if they really want to get in between you, they probably can, because it comes down to the 0.01% maybe. Yeah, there was like half a second between me and Christian, another half second between me and Leo. So yeah, that it happens all so fast, and it's such a like small decisions. And for sure, that's also something I'm still developing and learning, because I haven't been, like, running is not my top strength. And for me, it's all still a bit new, and I'm still learning how to really try to take home big results.
And is the kind of training you're doing and the racing of 70.3, do you feel that is something that is bolting on new skills, new areas you're able to push your body to? You know, is that all part of, because those different races, you've got the arena games coming up as well, you know, completely different. Like, to the outside eye, they don't look like they should gel very well together, but evidently they are.
Yeah, I think I just like to think of myself as an athlete who can do every format of racing, and it's also what I'm trying to do. And I kind of enjoy every single format that there is in our sport now, and I actually really enjoy like developing even new formats and all that stuff. Like, for me, it's super exciting what's going on now in triathlon, like having World Triathlon also implementing some new formats, the Super League style of racing, all that stuff. It's super interesting for me. And I think the good thing for me is that I'm a complete athlete. So I'm maybe not the best runner, which in a standard Olympic distance makes it more difficult for me to take home the gold medal. But in all other types of racing, it's usually an advantage, because I don't have any weak points. You're never going to be able to get rid of me, basically. So that's why I really enjoy doing all the different formats. And I think it also makes me stronger, and makes my will to perform in that Olympic distance stronger.
And so, full Ironman, you know, the prospect of 4 hours in a saddle, how does that sit with you? As something else that's looming on the horizon at some point? Or
yeah, for sure, I think that's something that's on the horizon, but not for the very close future. But and I'll have to develop a lot of different skills for that still. But I think those, like, doing 70.3 here and there in the next couple of years, I think you can perfectly fit it in your short distance schedule. And if that's what keeps you motivated, and in my case that's really something that keeps me motivated, I think that's a perfect way to make the step to do Ironman at some point smaller. So
but therefore that sort of training or that type of distance, that you just wouldn't go anywhere near that for the time being until Paris? Or
yeah, for me personally, I think I can do it without compromising either one of the two. We've seen the Norwegians do it successfully, and it's very, very impressive. But yeah, like I say, I came fourth at the last Olympics, which I came up just short. So I think I can't allow myself to make compromises. Like I'll have to go 100, well, 200% for Paris, and if I feel like something might be a little compromised, I'm not gonna do it. And I think in my case, doing full distance while training for short distance, I think it would be no, I don't think I could do it.
So sixth in Rio versus fourth in Tokyo. Did the Tokyo result, was that kind of just tantalizingly close, and sixth in Rio at that stage in your career, was that again still tantalizingly close, but were you more like kicking on after Rio, Tokyo sort of perhaps a bit more what if?
I have to say, if I look back to it, I think Rio was actually closer to a medal. And also, I think, yeah, if I had the strength I had this summer in 2016, then I think, a medal would have been very, very possible. But yeah, obviously that's a lot of ifs again. But yeah, I think that the thing is, in 2016, obviously that was a bit of a surprise result. Like I think almost no one expected me to perform that well. But that was at the prime of the Brownlee period still. And yeah, the scenario played really into my cards, because we had a breakaway with about 10 guys, I think, that took almost 2 minutes on a chase pack, which is the perfect scenario for me. As a good swimmer and biker as well. So to take sixth there, I was super, super happy. I even surprised myself, and I surprised everyone, I think. But now this time, I'm probably more proud of this result, especially because it's really that this fourth place in a scenario that was probably the worst for me, because there was no real break during the bike. Also, the bike was not very hard. So basically most people start with quite fresh legs on the run, which has always been my working point. And to come fourth there, I think I'm super proud of the journey I've had, more than disappointed. I'm proud of the journey I've had growing towards this level, and it's something I would have never expected, that I could come this close to a podium in a running race. But yeah, obviously it's still a painful position as well, and I would have liked to change it. But the three guys up front, it's not that it was super close. So I think the three guys up front were just the class of the day, and they were clearly deserving of the three medals.
Well, and I guess Paris should be a different case as far as the course goes, right? It's going to be hillier. It's going to.
Yeah, but I think it's always very difficult to predict, like which course is going to be a breakaway course, or how you want to call it. You can never predict it. Some courses are very wide and you see breakaways. Some courses are very, very narrow and lots of corners, and you also see breakaways, or everyone coming back. Like it's I don't know. I think it depends more on the athletes on the day, and I think at these Olympics the balance was just shifted to the chase pack having more confidence than the front pack, and I think that was the main reason why everything came together like it did.
And as far as this season shaping up, is Yokohama your planned start point? Obviously Abu Dhabi your planned finish point, and as a place to start the season or continue the season? No, you didn't race the last at the end of last year, did you? How does Yokohama sort of fit rank in your course preferences, shall we say, or and indeed Abu Dhabi as one to wrap up in, where it could be 30 plus degrees heat and you could be in need of just edging out a Blumi or a Yi again. And
well, yeah, I'm mostly very excited to start the season, and I think Yokohama, it's maybe not my favorite course, but I've always enjoyed racing there. I think it's a good course. There's always like good action, and it's usually a very, very fast run. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And like you say, I missed the two first World Series last year. The first one in Hamburg, and then the second one, yeah, I broke my elbow at the end of last year, so that's why I didn't do Abu Dhabi then. So yeah, for sure, I'll hope to be there in good shape in Yokohama, because I'm gonna have to have some good races to get up in the rankings soon, and be in between the contenders for the world title. So yeah, Yokohama for sure, first peak of the year.
And Arena Games just before that, yeah, as a way to start a season. Do you see that? Well, it's going to be April and just into May, obviously now, but yeah, an interesting way to potentially start seasons with this indoor racing, and yeah, what are the different demands? Like, just looking at you guys in London and Rotterdam, you particularly obviously is just getting over for the golds, and I mean, looking absolutely cooked as well. So
Yeah,
like, there's different demands of that kind of race, and presumably like the humidity in there, and it's, you know, you're not getting that fresh air in the lungs, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's very special kind of racing, and honestly, maybe one of the most painful things I've ever done. Like, I suggest everybody that has a treadmill like that, or sees it in the gym, like one of those curved treadmills, to try and go all out on it for a longer period. It's super, super, super hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna have to do like 5 races or something on a day, I saw. So yeah, for sure, it's gonna be excited. And like I said before, I really enjoy also supporting like new events and new styles of racing. And for me, it's something I enjoy, and I also thought it would fit well into my program to, yeah, now basically transition back from that half distance I did to short distance. So yeah, this is the complete different sides of the panel than the half distance. So yeah, I'm very excited for it, and definitely it brings its own challenges, this race. I watched that Lee event race as well, and it did look amazing. Obviously, I think, yeah, Vincent Louis as a headliner is probably one of the best things a French organization can have, to have their own superstar there. So yeah, I think the atmosphere was incredible there, and it's really cool. Like, it's like, I don't know if you know, like the 6-day racing, the cycling events, which, yeah, in Belgium they do it. It's on the track as well, and they have like a lot of events over, yeah, the course of 6 days, obviously. And
Right.
it became more of like a folklore, like a festival almost, where people go and they enjoy their time. They drink beer, they eat a burger, and enjoy watching the sports. And that would be really awesome if this kind of racing can go there, to that level. But I think there's still a couple of steps to make. But yeah, I'm expecting this year that it's gonna be a big deal already, because there's a world title on the line.
Yeah, first E-Games triathlon world title.
Yeah, it's super, super short racing, obviously, but yeah, it is like mentally, obviously, a little bit harder than outside, because you can't literally try to follow someone on the bike, or like try to hang on the run. Yeah, it's your virtual character, so it would be a lot easier to say like, oh, I'm letting them go. But yeah, I think psychologically it makes it a lot harder still. But yeah, I think it's kind of fun, and it's definitely a direction that maybe it can be interesting for the sport and the future as an addition. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So are you on do you TikTok? World Triathlon's launching its TikTok this week. So we've got that coming up. Yeah, is that something you're out there? Have you been doing the keeping it Van Riel pose out on the
I haven't done the pose on TikTok, but I do have a TikTok. Yeah, so there's still quite some work on my TikTok. I haven't quite reached TikTok celebrity status.
stardom, right?
Okay. But no, I think it's something fun, and I think it's also a different public to kind of connect to. I think it's in general like a younger audience, which I think it can be good if you can like show them your sport and like try to get them a little bit influenced to follow the sports and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a cool medium.
But yeah, the keep it real pose. You got to tell us. Tommy Zafiris did say that we got to ask where that came from. Essentially, like what was the first one?
I don't really remember, to be honest, but I kind of like to not take myself too serious and like to just show a bit more the real side and the raw side of being a professional athlete. I mean, I'm for sure I'm not Superman, and I'm just like a normal boy having fun and feeling blessed with the life I'm living, and that's kind of why I do some, how do you say, like sometimes a bit of stupid things on social media. And I think that post kind of just grew from that. It was just like putting like a really awkward pose and shooting it to the.
But it looks so natural at the same time. You look so comfortable.
Yeah, well, yeah. Through
kinda...
the years, it's growing more comfortable, and now, no, the people think it's fun, and like I've seen a lot of people that do the pose at races, do their pre-race photos or on camps or whatever, and it's super fun to connect with people through something like that. I was in a band at one point, but that's when I was very, very young. So that's I did have to sing in this band as well, but I played the drums.
Oh yeah,
because one of my good friends also played the drums. We also had to sing, like, because only one of us could play the drums, obviously. So one of us was like the backup singer, basically. But yeah.
Oh, you didn't go for the full kind of Phil Collins and.
Well, I don't know. Like I feel like I was equally bad at both, so it's good that I didn't try to do both together. I think.
What kind of age are we talking here?
That's until I was like 13 or something like that, 13, 14. And well, basically I did stop because I was gonna get like a bit more into sports at that point. And I just didn't enjoy like the music stuff as much as sports. Needed more energy. Like
what kind of music are we talking here?
Vertigo by U2, that's what we played, and well, we did some different stuff, but there were quite a lot of Belgian songs, well, Dutch songs as well, but and then Bad Moon Rising. I don't even know what's the it's something like Creedence
Clearwater Revival.
Yeah. That's a bit different, but like like a bit rock, but not
too
crazy.
hefty.
No.
Because Belgians have a bit of a reputation for liking some pretty crazy music, right? Like full nosebleed techno, bit of like death metal.
Yeah, like a bit of everything. I'm gonna take my charger quickly, but like techno, that's very popular, but also we have quite a lot of heavy metal as well, huh?
Yeah.
Like the one of the most popular festivals is actually a heavy metal festival.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, obviously Tomorrowland, that's the most famous probably. So, well, actually this year I wanted to say it's always falls really bad in the World Triathlon calendar because it's like end of July, but actually this season it's
Hello, there could be a little window of opportunity here, right?
Yeah, maybe. Nah.
Who else might be up for something like that? I don't know. Could you convince like Jonas to go with you, or I feel like Jonas Schomburg could be quite
Well,
entertaining.
I think you can convince him of doing anything basically, yeah. But yeah, I think there is quite a few guys that would enjoy that. Yellow would enjoy it as well, I think.
Uh-huh.
He's always up for a little party, so
A little Belgian Hammers team building exercise.
that's
Weekend
it.
at Tomorrowland.
That's it.
I also think one of the best things to come out of the hotel lockdown situation was perhaps the development of your Photoshop skills. There's been some good ones on there as well. The beach, the Hoff in the background there. I mean, that was good.
Yeah.
Is that? But you also you shared something. Was there some fan art that you shared a little while ago? Someone had done a picture of you in a kind of manga style. No, was that around the middle of last year? Is that something that you get a lot of? I don't know. I feel like if you might attract this kind of these kind of fans with a bit of creative nous.
It hasn't happened like really a lot. I think the one you are referring to, I think it was Red Bull Belgium that they hired an artist that did made basically like kind of a Japanese style of every athlete of them that was going to Olympics, which for me they made like and I actually got like a big poster of it. It's like a kind of in a samurai cartoon. Which I thought it's really cool. Like I'm not really a fan of putting posters and pictures of myself on the wall, but this one I actually enjoyed. But yeah, it has happened that like some people like gave me something like some art or like a little present at the race, and yeah, I mean that's something super cool. For me, it's like I say, I'm the boy from Westwesel that is just doing what he enjoys, and it's incredible to see that you can spread that joy to other people and yeah, kind of let people dream with you. So yeah, that's super cool. Yeah.
How are you in a training day week block? Do you have those moments where you're like you don't feel there's enough hours in the day, you'd like to squeeze in something else, or is that not really the way that it works in your sessions?
Yeah, I mean usually I feel like the day doesn't have enough hours still. But yeah, my weak point is that I really don't like mornings, so I usually begin way too late with my training day. And then I especially by when the evening comes, that's when I'm like, oh damn, like I wish I had another hour or two of daylight mostly, which now with when daylight savings is gone, like that's gonna be good. But yeah, like it still feels as if there's not enough hours in a day. Although at one point in my career I also combined a half-time job with training like this almost, and I don't know how I did it back then, because it seems like now I still don't have enough time in a day, and then I was doing 20 hours of work next to it. So yeah, it's there's never enough time, I think.
No, but that isn't, that's not a nice feeling, is it? When you feel like, oh, I just got to squeeze in a something, and maybe it is actually, we're only the hours have just changed here as well, so it's going to get a bit lighter a bit later. But maybe so maybe it's more of a winter thing, and each winter you kind of forget just how much that like February, March drags on. And
because it doesn't feel like you're really squeezing that much training in one day basically than before. And like we said, talking about people that have a job next to it, like for them especially, it gets a lot more motivating now that you can still go out for a bike ride after your work and stuff like that. So like those short winter days are usually the toughest to train through, and also that's when the races are still the furthest away. So it's difficult to motivate you on different levels. But yeah, we got through another winter here. So yeah.
Yeah, what was that part-time job? At what point were you able to knock that on the head and go, right, this is triathlon, it's me full-time now?
I did get my level went up really quickly. So then by the end of my last year as a junior, I qualified for Europeans, where I did the 17th place, which qualified me for Worlds, where I didn't perform very well. But then basically the year after, when I was a first year under 23, I didn't really get any support anymore from my federation. And yeah, I had to kind of find my own way. And I raced primarily inside Belgium. I was still studying then, and then basically I decided to give up the studies and start working, which it's not really a course that I would suggest to most people, but for me it did work. Because I really had trouble concentrating on two things. And in my school, I was always saying like, oh yeah, but I can't study properly because I have to train. And for the training as well, I was always saying, oh yeah, I can't train properly because I have to study. So then basically both in my first year under 23, both didn't go very well, neither school, neither sports. And I decided to go and work part-time as a lifeguard, and that's basically where I got my breakthrough, because then so as a second year under 23, I paid my own way to a couple of Euro Cups, and I had some decent results. I think it was like a 7th place in the Turkish European Cup, and then a 12th place or something like that in Banyoles European Cup. Mm-hmm. But in Banyoles was actually maybe a better result, because I did a good run, which at that point, that was what the federation really wanted me to prove myself in. And basically I rolled back into the support of the federation, and that really got the ball rolling.
So that was a full paying your dues, like that you were literally earning to get back on the circuit.
Yeah, for sure. It didn't come. I mean, in the end, it still came quite easy, because the good thing in Belgium is that I never really had to battle a lot against people inside my country, which you see in a lot of the bigger countries. Yeah, that's the biggest struggle, like France or UK or Spain, Australia, that their biggest opponents are almost inside their own country. And for me, I mean, I did have some good results then, but I also did get the freedom to grow, which is something that's very valuable, because I was definitely not the star athlete when I was younger, and I definitely needed a lot more steps in between to reach the top.
Equally good that you, Yella, Claire, Valerie, as obviously and there are others around now as well coming through, but as that core group that have been the figureheads of the mixed relay for so long, and obviously doing so well at the top level, having that for Belgium all at the same time must have inevitably on all four of you had a good knock on, in that the federation had to, it knew what it was working with almost, and that it was a sort of, right, we can invest in these four at the same time and it's reaping rewards. It's not, well, we got a great guy here and a girl there coming through, or it's like, do you feel that accelerated perhaps like the development of Belgian triathlon over the past few years as well as a whole?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I think when they announced that the relay was going to be Olympic, I think pretty much at that point we kind of were, I wouldn't say lucky, but we're a small country with 2 men and 2 women that are very close to that world level. So it was like an ideal timing pretty much for a small country. But I can really feel that the 4 of us, and now there's more Belgian athletes coming through, and I also hope that they can kind of follow on our waves. But I really feel that there was kind of a mentality change that all of us had together when we went to races. We were not there to be there. We were there to perform, and we were hungry, and we always want more. And I think that's something that you really give to your teammates. And yeah, I think also that we're a very close group as well, and I think that's also a bit of our strength, and where maybe sometimes we can perform above our level if we have to perform for each other in a relay.
And you know what, almost kind of what's coming up, right? For those that the selection could be based on the race results from the previous day, for example, you know, to that must, I guess, raise people's games and give people an opportunity to break through, but at the same time doesn't necessarily give you that kind of forward planning that you perhaps need.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something that you can really see it from both sides. Like for us, obviously it's easy. Well, not easy, but we didn't really have to fight for our position in the relay in the past Olympic cycle, at least. I mean, I hope I will have to fight for a position, because that means Belgium as a country is doing really well for the next cycle. But the past one, obviously, yeah, that gave confidence, and we could just try to perform to our best in the individual, and then we knew we would do the relay. We didn't have to think like, oh, we have to beat like this guy within our country and all this kind of stuff. But on the other hand, what has been quite difficult for us is that as a small country, if we missed only one athlete, it gets very difficult to perform to a certain level, but also logistically, because basically the past 4 years, it's been mostly me, Jelle, Claire, and Val that have been traveling the world triathlon circuit. And if all of a sudden one of us falls injured, then one of the other athletes would basically have to change their whole program to come to a certain World Series race to be our stand-in, and that makes it very difficult as well. So yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah. So which of you three got the phone call from Jelle first, saying, guys, bit of a problem here, just tested positive?
Well, yeah, I mean, we were both in Girona, so I was probably the first one that knew it, because it was just on the edge with the 2 weeks rule, because you couldn't have COVID like 2 weeks before your race. So it was just on that edge. So in the beginning, we were trying to kind of hold it a little bit quiet, just to not like get everybody too worried about it. But yeah, unfortunately for Jelle, he tested positive for like quite a long time, I would say. So,
and you were living with him at that time, or were you sharing the flat as well?
Yeah,
so
but I moved
together?
straight out, because it was first actually it was Jelle's girlfriend that got a little bit sick, and then I moved out just to not take any risks, and then obviously we did some testing, and Jelle was also unlucky to test positive then, and I was super lucky, because obviously that was a super stressful time for me as well, especially because like I said, Jelle, if he didn't test positive for that long of a period, he would have still had a chance to race. But if 5 days later or something, I would have tested positive, then I would have been like, okay, that's it, it's over and out, because that's within the 2 weeks of the race. So it was obviously, this period has been by far the worst for Jelle, and why it's very impressive how professionally I think he handled that for himself. Like, he really stayed motivated throughout. He kept well, he wasn't that sick, so he kept kind of training and still preparing to maybe do the relay, which in the end he didn't do the individual, but he was able to do the relay, which I think that's very impressive to keep that motivation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could have done it myself, to be honest. But yeah, I think for
Yeah.
everybody it was a bit of a shock. But unfortunately, in this time, it was almost to be expected that one of the big names would have some troubles like this in these games. Yeah. I can
Yeah, I
tell you
guess
that
so.
even for me, it was super stressful, because I was like, we were there, we were hoping every day, like, I can Yella come, can he come? And then you could also feel that his moral was going down, but we tried to keep it high in case that he could still make the relay. And yeah, it was a very difficult period for I think everyone in the Belgian team. But yeah, like I say, especially for Jelle, and the way he handled that's very impressive.
Quite a relief as well that he could then put together a race like Abu Dhabi, not many months later. And because, the long-term effect, and certainly it's not the same for every person either, but, long COVID and impact on lung capacity, all that kind of stuff, that to know that he was able to do that for himself, for other people that might be extra worried about getting it, it's kind of a bit of a positive, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think just in general for him, it was really an unlucky year, because then after Olympics, he had that crash during running in Montreal, where he broke his wrist. Yeah, that's just so much bad luck behind each other, that I think it was for him really good to have that result in Abu Dhabi, and be motivated for, like, the rest, and just to show also the world like what he's capable of. And I'm 100% sure that he would have performed like really good in Tokyo as well. So yeah, now he has to take this and be even more motivated for Paris.
Yeah, exactly. Those what ifs not really worth hopefully spending too much energy on. Yeah, you've got a lot of fans out there looking forward to seeing you coming out and building on last year. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how that all pans out. So thanks very much, Martin. It's been great.
Thank you for the chat. It was fun.
Arena Games, 9th of April, Triathlon Live. That's where it's going to be at, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, cheers, Martin.
Cheers.
Take care.